The main lounge is bigger than a tennis court, but for all the opulence, this is a home. The pictures, which seem to leap out of the frames on the sideboard, and the golden and platinum discs which line the walls, give a clue to the identity of the man who lives here. Brian Johnson is a symbol of the rock age.
About 78, we started a band called Geordie Again with 3 new lads, you know. That was a great time. You know, at least we had a little bit of money in my pockets to sort of buy a chinky takeout. Can I say that?
Of course you can.
And you know, we'll get a prawn curry or something to eat between we, you know. It wasn't too bad.
I've heard quite a lot of stories about how you started with AC/DC, but perhaps you can put the record straight for us.
Dead easy story. I was playing with Geordie. I got a telephone call. They wouldn't say who it was, you know. They just said, I'm sorry, we can't tell you who it is because of the fact that there's been a bereavement in the band and we don't really think it's time to let anybody know who the band is.
What?
I'd never been for an audition in my life, you know. I said, I can't go to London, you know. I can't afford it.
You really couldn't afford to go down to London?
No, I was broke. I was very lucky. I had a good friend who lent us his car. And as soon as I walked in, it was like a real friendly atmosphere. They just said, oh, hello, and had a can of brown ale waiting for us. You know, they knew us from Newcastle, and can of brown ale. Yeah, come on, we know you might be nervous. And but I was tired. I was knackered. I wasn't nervous. I was just saying, hey, let's do it. I've got to get back. I've got a gig tomorrow.
How much were you getting paid for that gig? How much were you getting paid for that gig then? Have you an idea?
Heaton Buffs. I think Heaton Buffs will have always been good payers. I think we're getting about 120 quid. I think.
Between how many?
Between 4 of us, which was like a big pay night. That.
Now, when was this? When you actually landed the job with AC/DC?
That was 1980.
So it's 3 years ago.
It'd be 3 years ago, yeah. So it was. I must admit, it was the. If ever, you know, I look back on my life, that was the year that it really all started.
But how is it that a lot of people, and I'm talking about nosy people like myself, will say, well, how has he done it in such a short time? Because you seem to have a lot of money now.
You better ask me accountant that. I don't know. I think it's just, we did an album. It sold heaps and heaps and heaps, you know, right around the world, in countries that I've never heard of, you know. And I think the band itself's an honest, hard-working band. You know, they try the hardest to give the best value for money. The only difference for me is I live in a bigger house. I don't pay the council the rent anymore.
And, did you live in a council house?
Oh, yeah, I was brought up in a council house. My mother still lives there, she loves it.
The fans and people generally speculate about folk like you. They all say you're a millionaire now. Would that be true?
Hey, no. The tax man's watching. No, definitely not. But I'm, you know, unfortunately, I've got to leave the country for money reasons, and I never ever thought I would. You know, I was determined to stay here, but it's, you know, just I can't afford to, you know, any longer. Just the dog's even worried about it. I'm going down to Hawaii because Cliff, the bass player, already lives there. You see, me and Carol went out there in the summer last year. And it's about the most sensible place in America, I think, you know.
As far as your life as a star is now concerned, what has it meant to you in America? How recognized are you there?
Well, it's worse in America than it is here, actually. It's, you know, I'd never been to America in my life until I joined AC/DC. And the first gig we did there, you know, straight into Madison Square Garden. And, you know, just before I went on stage, I promptly got thrown out by the security, wondering what a bum like me was doing, hanging around Madison Square Garden. I mean, it was sold out, it was packed, and I couldn't get back in. So one of the chauffeurs who took me there spotted us, and he put us in the back of the limo, and he drove us back in again. As I say, in the States, all the religious and moral groups, they think we're real bad lads, you know. And,
because of the naughty songs?
Well, I think we drink too much, you know. We're making the kids wayward. I mean, have you seen an American kid? Hey, they're all crackers, man. You know, they're all mental. And because their lives are revolving, it's too fast. Their life's too fast. They cannot keep up with themselves, you know.
I'll tell you something, Brian. I didn't recognize you today without your cap on.
Oh, me dut. I've got it here, I put me dut on there. It's better. I started wearing this in Geordie, actually. The first gig I did was Westerhope Excelsior Club. And I put it on that night. I felt a bit daft, but I stuck with it. I kept it on. And the lads in the band says, oh, you want to keep it on, you know, it's a bit of a trademark. I feel comfortable when I go out in it, you know. It's just once upon a time, everybody used to wear them and know that. Don't bother. Are you thirsty? Are you thirsty, Tom?
Oh, I think I could be.
Shall we go next door for a drink?
Next door?
Aye.
Right, sure.
Drink. Hey, come and crew.
You better explain to the viewers that this is your house and not a pub. I thought we were going outside.
No, this is me recreation room.
Yes?
Aye. You get wrecked when you walk out of it.
Why do you have a bar like this in the house? I mean, you've got a dartboard, I see. You've got a pool table. It really is a pub, isn't it?
Well, it's just sort of a bit of a home from home, you know, in case sometimes, you know, when you do go out, you know, the driving stuff with a breathalyzer and all that. Sometimes it's handier just to crawl out of here and up the stairs into bed, you see.
You mentioned there a moment ago home from home. Well, although you are moving abroad, you have bought a house here. You seem to have your roots pretty strongly in the northeast. What is it about the area that still appeals to you?
The simple answer is because as soon as I did move away, I missed home. I missed me mates. You know, the band itself are great lads and all that, you know, but I mean, it's, you know, you still feel like you want to be home. You know, like, it's all right being in Hawaii, but what do you do with